So we've reached Makkah Mukarrama. Upon reaching Makkah Mukarrama, we check in the hotel and we freshen up. If we need to rest, we rest. If we want to have a bath, we can have a bath. Although we need to remember that part of this journey is that a person doesn't cleanse himself. So if a person just wants to have a bath to freshen up, then that's fine. If it's to clean oneself and a person's feeling dirty, then that shouldn't be the reason and the intention of having a bath. And then just remember that we're still in the state of ihram, so no soap, etc. will be used. And now the thing we need to do is umrah. We've got the ihram of umrah on, and we need to fulfill this obligation upon us and complete the umrah. So we need to perform umrah. What we need to remember is that we need to find an appropriate time for umrah. Try to find a time which is not so busy, which is not so difficult as well. You know, if you get there just at Zuhr time, before Zuhr, and then you say, okay, we want to go for umrah, and it's just summer days, immediately after Zuhr, you'll struggle. So keeping in mind all of these things. And another thing you need to remember is that the umrah is separate to going to the haram. It does not mean that as soon as you go to the haram, you have to perform the umrah. So you can go to, if it's salat time and you don't want to perform your umrah, then it's fine, go for salat, come back, rest, eat, whatever. Then whenever you feel it's appropriate, go for your umrah. Another thing you need to understand is seeing the Kaaba is also separate from the umrah as well. So if you are willing to go to the Kaaba and see the Kaaba, let's say you get there at Dhuhr time and you think, look, I'm not going to perform my umrah now, it's too hot. After Asr might be difficult as well. So maybe after Maghrib, maybe after Isha later on I'll perform my umrah. And you go in there for your namazis, but you want to see the Kaaba. So it's fine, you can go to see the Kaaba and then not do your umrah. That's not an issue. So these two are separate things. Your namaz, going to the haram is separate, seeing the Kaabatullah is separate, and performing your umrah is separate. So we've gone into masjid, and once we've entered in the Masjid al-Haram, then we enter according to the sunnah with our right foot, reciting the dua, Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah, Allahumma filli dhanbi wa aftah li abwab rahmatik. Or if you just recite Allahumma aftah li abwab rahmatik, that is suffice as well. And we are going to perform our umrah. And for the umrah, we'll need to, if you don't have anybody that is on a wheelchair, etc., then generally we'll go and perform our umrah in the mataf. And to access the mataf, you'll need to use, I'm not sure of any other gates, I don't know, I've never used the other new section and the new extension, so I don't know if they've opened it up yet, meaning access to the mataf. I know the new section from Babul Umrah is open, but I don't know if it gives you access to the mataf. But the main two areas which will give you access to the mataf is Bab Fahad, which is opposite Darut Tawheed Intercontinental, and the other one is Bab Malik Abdul Aziz, which is opposite the clock tower. So either you're going to be coming from that side or you're going to be coming from this side. So according to which side you're coming from, if it's coming from the side of Darut Tawheed, or if you're behind on Jabal Umar or area like that, then you'll be coming to Darut Tawheed, and then you'll enter into from Malik Fahad. If you're coming from the other side, then from the clock tower side, or if you're getting dropped off, if you're in Azizia or something, then generally they might drop you off around that area, either down below in the tunnel or on the other side towards the Mas'a, just a little bit before the Sa'i area. So if you're coming from that side, then Malik Abdul Aziz will be more suitable. So you'll enter into those two doors. Those two doors will give you access into the mataf. And if you go from anywhere else, you won't get into the mataf, and you'll just be going round and round. And I'll be quite frank with you that don't expect too much help from the people that are there, meaning the soldiers that are there, they'll just tell you, Sida, Hajj. That's all you're going to get from them. So just keep in mind that these two are the main doors that you're going to get access from. When we're now entering into the masjid, so we'll keep our gaze down and making our way towards the mataf area. And because at this moment in time we are going to see the Kaaba, and upon seeing the Kaaba we're going to make dua, so we will keep our gaze down. And so what happens is you go in through the main door, and then you need to take escalators or stairs down towards the mataf. So when we take the stairs down or the escalators down towards the mataf, we'll keep our gaze down, and then we'll try to find a secluded area, an area which is a little bit away from the people that are doing tawaf. Don't make your way straight into the mataf area. Move a little bit to the side, and from where you feel now, and you can see that, look, okay, I think I've got a good view of the Kaaba, stand there, and from there look up, and firstly we'll recite Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah 3 times. And there's other du'as that can be recited. If a person has the books, then refer to the books and learn these du'as whilst you are going, and at every juncture learn these du'as. So these du'as can be recited as well. The minimum we can do is recite Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah 3 times, and thereafter raise our hands and make du'a to our heart's content. And once we've made our du'a, then now we'll proceed to perform our umrah. One du'a which Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi would make is that when he would see the Kaaba, he would say that, "Oh Allah, accept all my du'as." Because this is a time of acceptance of du'as, and if this one du'a is accepted, then automatically everything else will be accepted as well. So one should try to make this du'a. I also request yourselves to remember me, my teachers, my parents, my family members in your du'as as well, inshallah. Umrah is main thing is your ihram, 2 farz acts, your ihram and your tawaf, and 2 wajib acts, your sa'i and your shaving of the head or trimming of the head, which we'll discuss inshallah. So we're already in the state of ihram, so now that leaves 3 main things that we need to do: tawaf, sa'i, and then the shaving and the trimming of the head. So just to give you a quick overview of the Kaaba, so this is the Hajar al-Aswad, and this is where we will start our tawaf from. Okay, so over here, the Hajar al-Aswad, that's where the tawaf will commence. And we'll go anti-clockwise, so we'll be walking in that direction, coming around like this. There's the Hatim area which we'll have to go around, which will be blocked off anyway, so you won't be able to cut through. And then coming around, you'll come to this corner, which is the Rukn al-Yamani, and then you'll come back here towards the Hajar al-Aswad. And in this anti-clockwise way, you won't be able to walk in any other direction because everybody's walking in that direction anyway. But in that manner, we'll perform our tawaf. So because we need to start from the Hajar al-Aswad, we need to locate the Hajar al-Aswad. So Hajar al-Aswad, to locate it, one of the ways is that if you look at the clock tower is something which you can see all the time now. So as soon as you get in the mataf, the clock tower will be over here, around this area. So as soon as you walk past the clock tower, you come to Rukn al-Yamani, and then you'll come to Hajar al-Aswad. That's one way. Another way I've seen it is that on each corner of the Kaaba, of the masjid, of the haram, looking over here at the top, you'll have 2 minarets, 2 minarets, 2 minarets. And on this side, you'll only have 1 minaret. So that 1 minaret is a side which is opposite the Hajar al-Aswad. And then once you walk in towards that area, then we'll need to start from the exact spot. So we need to first prepare for our tawaf. So one thing we need to remember is we need to be in the state of wudu. Just as salat cannot be performed without wudu, the same way tawaf cannot be performed without wudu. It is a condition for tawaf. And up until now, we're constantly reciting our talbiyah, talbiyah, talbiyah until we reach the Hajar al-Aswad. As soon as we reach the Hajar al-Aswad and we're about to start our tawaf, that's when we will stop our talbiyah. So constantly throughout our journey, even when we leave in the hotel, we will constantly be reciting our talbiyah. And because we need to now perform a tawaf, so up until now our ihram has been wrapped around covering both our shoulders. When we are performing tawaf now, then our ihram needs to be in a way that our right shoulder is uncovered and our left shoulder is covered. So the ihram will go from under the right shoulder over the left shoulder. So that's called iltiba. So we'll need to do this before we start our tawaf. So this is Hajar al-Aswad here, okay. Opposite Hajar al-Aswad is this green light. There'll be a green light here, and if you're performing tawaf on any other floor, you'll actually have signs there. You can just probably about see that sign. And there'll be signs there where it says Bidayatul Tawaf, the starting of Tawaf. So that's where our Tawaf will start from. So when we've come round, as I said, here is your clock tower. You've come round from there and you've identified the green light. Opposite the green light now is Hajar al-Aswad. So you'll now make your way towards this area to become in line with the Hajar al-Aswad. So we make our intention now that we're starting our Tawaf for Umrah. And we'll stop our talbiyah and we'll stand in a way that we're facing the Hajar al-Aswad, but our right shoulder is facing the Hajar al-Aswad. Right shoulder is in line. And then we'll move a little bit so that we're directly opposite, and then we'll make istilam. Istilam is like starting our salat. So just as we start our salat, we say Allahu Akbar. Similarly, we need to start our tawaf, so we need to make istilam. Now, how do you make istilam? That inshallah we'll learn is that once we are directly facing Hajar al-Aswad, then we'll raise both our hands to our ears, just like in namaz. And after raising our hands to the ears, we'll recite this dua. Bismillahi, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, and then drop our hands to the side. That now means that our tawaf has begun. Now what we do is every single round that we do, we'll need to make an istilam of the Hajar al-Aswad. So this was the istilam to start our tawaf. Once you've started your tawaf now, you're starting the first circuit, the first round, and the 7 rounds to a tawaf. So every round that we do, we'll need to make istilam of the Hajar al-Aswad. So when we make istilam of the Hajar al-Aswad, we will not raise our hands to our ears, rather we'll raise our hands to the height of Hajar al-Aswad, which is generally around chest height. So firstly we'll raise our hands till here, we'll drop that, and then we'll raise our hands towards the Hajar al-Aswad, and then we'll recite the dua, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, or Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, and then we'll kiss our hands, just a soft little peck of our palms, the inner palms, like that, and then stop, and then that's it. Now we'll then start to walk. So this is, if you see that our right shoulder will be in line with the Hajar al-Aswad, and then what will happen is we'll come directly in front of the Kaaba, and then we'll start our tawaf. So what we need to remember is that during our tawaf, we are not allowed to face the Kaaba. And because we're not allowed to face the Kaaba during the tawaf, so we'll need to ensure that when we've done our istilam, okay, so let's say that corner is the Hajar al-Aswad. So I'm directly now in line with the Hajar al-Aswad. I've raised my hands, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. I've dropped it, then I've done Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, and then I've kissed it. Okay, now I need to start my tawaf. If I now start walking like this, then my chest is towards the Kaaba, and therefore that part of the tawaf is incorrect. So what I need to do is, once I've done my istilam, I'll turn directly now this way, 90 degrees. I'll turn 90 degrees, so now I'm in line with the Kaaba, and then I'll stop my tawaf and going round. So we need to remember that we don't start walking like this, and that's why it's important that to be on the cautious side, just don't go too far ahead when you're starting. To be a bit cautious, start a little bit on the left of the Hajj, on this side. And then when we're finishing, then to be on the cautious, just do a bit more and then face the Hajar al-Aswad, so that we know that we've done our full tawaf. When we're doing the tawaf, then there's one thing else that we need to be a little bit conscious of, is that we need to do something called ramal. What is ramal? Ramal is that a person walks like a gladiator, like a soldier, in between the ranks, in front of the enemy, chest out, shoulders swaying, and with a bit of arrogance. A person walks like that. And that is only done in the first 3 rounds. There is an entire reason behind this, but if I go into that, then that will take up 5 minutes, and then that will take a bit of the time of the other part. So I don't want to go into the details of that. So only in the first 3 rounds we'll do that. After that, in the remaining 4 rounds, we'll walk humbly with our gaze down, chest down, and humbly walking around the Kaaba. So only in the first 3 rounds we'll be walking in that manner, a little bit fast paced, with the chest out, swaying, and in that way we'll perform our first 3 rounds with a bit fast pace. The remaining 4 rounds we'll walk. We don't have to run or do anything like that. It's nothing. That's not ramal. Okay, ramal is walking in this manner. So with a bit speedy walk, with your chest out and your shoulders swaying, and only in the first 3 rounds. After that, in the remaining rounds, we'll just walk humbly. So in the first 3 rounds, we'll do the brisk walk, and in the remaining ones, we'll do that. During the tawaf, we need to keep our shoulder, as I said, in line with the Kaaba. Don't look at the Kaaba. Continue looking down. We'll have plenty of time after to look at the Kaaba. When doing our tawaf, we don't look here, we don't look there. Don't look at what other people are doing and say, look what he's doing and what that person doing. This person is doing this wrong. This person not wearing his ihram properly. This person has got these type of. That's not. We need to be focused. What am I here for? And I've got this opportunity. Am I doing it properly? What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't accept mine and He accepts everybody else's? So with great humbleness and humility, with our gaze down, continue performing our tawaf, and remain focused. Engage in any form of dua, dhikr, tasbihat, recite. For example, in the first round, recite your first kalima. In the second round, recite second kalima. In the third round, recite the third kalima. Recite the fourth kalima. In the fourth round, recite istighfar. In the fifth round, recite durood sharif. In the sixth round, recite subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah al-azim. In the seventh, or whatever you want, just keep yourself engaged in any form of dhikr. In this form of dhikr, keep yourself engaged. And dua, if you just want to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's fine. Just keep talking. Without necessity, don't talk to anybody else. If you're walking with your family, with friends or whatever, don't engage in conversation with anybody else. You're allowed to talk. It's not that you cannot talk, but without necessity, don't talk, because this is a time for when you should be focused towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whilst we're doing our tawaf, then the Rukn Yamani, which is the second to last corner of the Kaaba before the Hajar al-Aswad, the last corner before Hajar al-Aswad, that is known as Rukn Yamani. And that corner, we do not, if we are performing tawaf so close to the Kaaba that we can touch it, then we touch it. If we cannot touch it, then we don't do anything. We don't from far make istilam or anything like this, because like we do in Hajar al-Aswad. Hajar al-Aswad, the actual method of Istilam is that you go to the Hajar Aswad and you kiss it. That's not possible to do that every round because of the amount of people that are there anymore. So what we do is we do it from far. In Rukn Yamani, we should do the same, just touch it with either two hands, if not two hands and one hand. If not that, then we don't do anything from far, we just leave it and just walk past it, and that is all. And at that moment there are certain du'as to be recited as well. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, between the Rukn Yamani and the Hajar al-Aswad. At the Rukn Yamani, Allahumma innaka afoon tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. These types of du'as, as I said, you can look at these du'as in the books, revise these du'as, learn these du'as and the places which you need to recite them, so that you can read them at the right moments, inshallah. And once we've gone all the way around, we've come now to the Hajar al-Aswad again, then we start on our second round. That's one round done. We start on our second round. So what did I say? Every round starts with a Istilam. So we'll do Istilam once again. So we'll be walking like this all the way down, just walking. We'll keep in an eye that the green light's there, Hajar al-Aswad is there, and then just do it quick. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. And just carry on. That's it. We don't need to stop, face it all. No, just a quick, whilst you're walking, Bismillah wa salatu wa salam. And then that's it. Then just carry on. And in that way, we'll do our tawaf. Second round, third round, in all same way, we'll just carry on in that manner. So this is Rukn Yamani. And this is Hajar al-Aswad here. So we'll start from here. We'll go round. This is the area of the Hatim, which will be closed off anyway. And we'll come round here. When we come to here, you may see people doing Istilam from far, but we don't do that because, as I said, that we should try and touch it. If you can't, then no. So here we'll recite, from here till here, when we walk in, we'll recite the dua, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. It's not necessary that we do, it's sunnah, but if you want to recite any other dua, if you're doing our adhkar, then that's fine as well. But at least once we should try to recite that dua, just to fulfill the particular sunnah as well, up until we reach Hajar al-Aswad again. As soon as we get to Hajar al-Aswad, we perform the Istilam and carry on with our tawaf. Once we've done this, and we've done 7 rounds now, when we've done 7 rounds, our tawaf is finished. When our namaz is finished, what do? We say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So similarly, now our tawaf is finished. It's not that, okay, right, 7 rounds are done, let me just go away. No, at the end of the 7th round now, we'll do another final Istilam. This is to finish our tawaf. Again, of the Hajar al-Aswad, not to initiate our tawaf, it'll just be of the Hajar al-Aswad. So facing the Hajar al-Aswad, kiss and peck at the palms, and then our tawaf will be complete. And thereafter, because our tawaf is complete, now we don't need to keep our shoulder uncovered anymore. So once again, we'll cover our shoulder with our ihram, and we'll move on to the next part of our umrah. What do we do now after our umrah? The second part is that now we go to the Maqam Ibrahim. Maqam Ibrahim is a place where the stone upon which Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam built the Kaaba, that stone is placed within that casing, and that is known as the Maqam Ibrahim. So we'll go and we'll perform 2 rakats there. These 2 rakats are wajib, and these 2 rakats will be performed anywhere behind the Maqam Ibrahim. They will not need to be performed exactly behind the Maqam Ibrahim. They can be performed anywhere behind the Maqam Ibrahim. And if we are unable to perform it behind the Maqam Ibrahim anywhere because it's so full, then we can perform these 2 rakats anywhere in the haram at all. So it doesn't matter as well. So we'll see, ideally, if you can go there, behind the Maqam Ibrahim somewhere. They do generally have an area cordoned off where you can perform it, but if it is extremely busy, then they might not have that area. So it doesn't matter, we'll just make our way somewhere else and we'll just perform our 2 rakats there. We'll just need to be mindful that it's not makruh time. If it's makruh time, we will not perform these 2 rakats, and we'll then have to perform these 2 rakats after the makruh time has passed. Because it's wajib, these will need to be performed. So for example, you're doing a tawaf after Asr, then you're not allowed to perform any namaz now after Asr. So we'll delay these 2 rakats till after Maghrib. or if you're doing a tawaf after Fajr and you finish your tawaf before sunrise, we won't perform these 2 rakats then. We'll have to wait after sunrise and perform our 2 rakats at that time. Once we've done that, then we'll move a bit more towards the back wall from opposite the Maqam Ibrahim, and there you'll have the Zamzam taps, where you'll go and you'll drink Zamzam as much as you can, and get that Zamzam, pour it over your body, pour it over your head, etc. It will be cold, so just be careful as well. Don't just chuck it right on you, otherwise you'll get a bit of a cold shock as well. So you need to be a bit careful. Put it over your hand and just dab it on first so that your body gets a little bit cool, and then you can pour yourself with the Zamzam. That's not an issue. Another thing we need to remember is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that ma'u Zamzam lima shuriba lahu, that whatever intention a person makes when drinking Zamzam, then that intention and that dua will be accepted. So when we're drinking our Zamzam, then make a special dua. And make that dua. Many ulama and muhaddithun, they state that I went to perform Hajj, and at the time of drinking Zamzam, I made this dua and Allah accepted it. And then somebody else says, yes, I also went and I did this and Allah accepted it. Another person says, I also went and I made this dua and Allah accepted it. So this is a time of acceptance of dua. So make a special dua at that moment in time. And thereafter, we'll go towards a multazam. And we'll make a dua at the multazam. Multazam is, this is the Maqam Ibrahim. And the multazam is the area between the Hajar al-Aswad and the door of the Kaaba. That area. That's the multazam. Between Hajar al-Aswad and the door of the Kaaba. So we'll make our way towards there and make dua, but realistically it won't be possible, because there'll be too much people, you won't be able to go through the crowds, etc. So ideally, we'll just make our dua from wherever we are. That's not an issue. So this is what we need to remember, is the multazam, that area, not this area which everybody else is standing and holding. So just a few quick mas'alas, if time permits, is that what happens if our wuzu breaks during our tawaf? So if we've done majority of our tawaf, then we can carry on with a fresh wuzu from where we left off. If we haven't done the majority of our tawaf, then we'll need to do a fresh wuzu and start our tawaf all over again. Majority is 7, so majority would be 4. If you've done 4 rounds, then we can carry on. If you haven't done 4 rounds, we need to start all over again. Okay? If you forget to run in the first 3 rounds, then it's no issue. We will not run in the remaining rounds. We'll just carry on walking as usual. If whilst we're performing tawaf, we thought, okay, I'll easily be able to get my tawaf in, but then all of a sudden namaz is starting and they start making the surf and they say, Haji, Haji, no more tawaf. We'll stop you and say, pray here, stand here, you need to pray namaz, and then within a few minutes azan takes place. Then what do? Doesn't matter, no problem. Stop where you are. So you're performing your tawaf, you've got to somewhere here, so you've got your tawaf, you got to here, and then you can't go. No problem, stop, stand here, pray your namaz. After you pray your namaz, then carry on your tawaf immediately from where you are. If you've moved, then you just need to be mindful of that. You need to go back to where you got to. So stay where you are or move a little bit that way, and then you'll commence your tawaf from there. So if namaz does come in, then it's not an issue. Just carry on your tawaf after namaz from where you left off. Just a quick point I will like to mention is that if you are doing your tawaf after namaz, then get up immediately after namaz and start your tawaf, because people will be just sitting there. So you'll get a quick round in whilst people are doing their tasbeehs and doing du'as, whatever. You'll get a very quick round in. Otherwise, once everybody starts getting up and then starts joining in, then it'll slow you down as well. So that's a good time to do your tawaf. Similarly, people will be performing the Salatul Janazah as well. So again, that's a good time to get a quick round of your tawaf in. Once we finish our tawaf, we'll need to go for sa'i. We need to start running as well. We need to go for sa'i. So we'll make istinam of the Hajj al-Aswad if possible. We'll go towards the Hajj al-Aswad. So to go towards Sa'i, once we've left our Zamzam area, the Sa'i route will be just on your right hand side, and you'll need to go from there on towards the ramp, and they'll lead you either on the first ground floor, or they'll then tell you that, no, sorry, there's no space here, go upstairs or whatever. And then if you go upstairs, then you'll have to go all the way that way, then go upstairs, then come all the way back, etc. And you've probably done half a Sa'i already by the time you start your Sa'i. So good luck, but you'll start making your way towards the Sa'i. We'll go towards Sa'i, and we start the Sa'i from Safa, and then we need to do 7 rounds from Safa to Marwa, Marwa to Safa, Safa to Marwa, Marwa to Safa. Each Safa to Marwa is classified as 1. So we'll start at Safa and we'll finish at Marwa. This will be 7 rounds. We'll go to Safa, and Safa these were 2 mountains, Safa and Marwa. Nowadays, these mountains cannot be seen because the Haram has been expanded so much and the mountains have been incorporated within the Haram. There's still a little bit of Safa that you can see if you're doing tawaf on the ground floor, and a little bit of Marwa. Literally in Marwa you've got just a patch of the mountain left, which they've left behind. But you'll start from Safa. We'll get up from where you can see the Kaaba, and after getting up to see the Kaaba, we'll recite the dua, Abda'u bima bada Allahu ta'ala bihi inna safa wal marwata min sha'airillah, which means that I am starting from where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has started, and Allah mentions in the Quran in the safa wal marwata min sha'airillah, and Allah mentions Safa first, so I am starting from Safa first. And then we'll start our Sa'i from Safa going towards Marwa. So this is the Hajj al-Aswad. We've finished our Zamzam here. This was Maqam Ibrahim. Zamzam was here. So then we'll need to go around this way, and then we'll need to walk towards the Safa from here and then come up. Okay? This is Safa now. Okay? So it's all just marbled, the whole area, but a little bit of this they've just kept enclosed behind this glass, and a little bit of the Safa you can see. So you don't need to get up all the way till here. You'll just need to get up to a point where you can see the Kaaba, face the Kaaba, and you'll raise your hands and you'll make dua. You'll recite the takbirat, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and 4th kalima, Durood Sharif. Thereafter, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to your heart's content. These are all, wherever we say make dua, make dua, make dua, make dua, these are all times of acceptance. We make a point to make a lengthy dua when we first see the Kaaba. And then what happens is, I've made my dua now. So then when we're having Zamzam, we don't make that dua. When we're performing our 2 rakats of tawaf, we don't make that dua. When we come on to Safa, we don't make that dua with that conviction. It's just like, okay, we have got to make dua now again. How much dua am I going to make? That's what it becomes like. It becomes like, okay, no, these are times where du'as are accepted. So wholeheartedly, with a lot of focus, make sure you make dua at these times. So once we've made dua at Safa, we'll start now making our walk towards Marwa. Now this is a long walk. This is around like 3.5, 4 kilometers, the full round. So it is quite a bit of a walk, so you need to be ready for this as well, especially on the marble tiles as well. So just be mentally prepared for that. If you've got an extra pair of flip-flops that you're going to use for the haram, then that might come in handy. If not, then it doesn't matter, inshallah. But you'll descend from Safa and walk towards Marwa, remaining engaged in dhikr. And when the green lights commence, which we'll see in the next slide, inshallah, then that's when we'll start to run, because that's when Hajar alayhi salam radiyallahu ta'ala anha started to run when she was searching for the water for her son Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam. So men will do the running, women won't run, women will continue walking at their normal pace. And whilst we're running, we'll recite the dua, Rabbi ighfir warham, innaka antal azizul akram. This is the dua upon which will be accepted as well, and a time, a sunnah dua which is to be recited at that time. So these are the green lights, you can't really miss them. And these green lights will start as soon as you come down from Safa. So as soon as you come down from Safa, the green line will start and will start to run. They'll carry on to a short while till there, then we'll stop running and we'll walk and we'll carry on walking all the way till Marwa. Once we get to Marwa, then we'll do at Marwa what we did at Safa, which is what? Face the Kaaba, raise our hands, say the takbir, say the tahleel, read Durood Sharif, and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fourth kalima, and thereafter we'll make dua and then make our way down towards Safa and carry on walking until the green light starts. The green light starts, we start running, and the green light finishes, we'll stop, and then we've literally got a few more meters left until we reach Safa, and then we'll go up to Safa and we'll repeat the process again. That's 2, and then we'll go back 3 and 4, 5, 6. This is Marwa. That's all that's left of Marwa, as you can see. Just this little patch here. That's all. So Safa to Marwa, we'll start at Safa, and because we're doing 7, we'll finish at Marwa. Wudu is preferable for Sa'i, but it's not necessary. If a person happens to break their wudu or something, then it doesn't matter. A person can carry on their Sa'i and they don't need to go and perform a fresh wudu. People use wheelchairs, people use buggies, carts, you've got everything nowadays. So this is only if there's a need. So if you don't have any disability, if you don't have any weakness within you and you are able to do the walking, then you cannot do it on a wheelchair or a cart or something like that. You'll have to do it walking, and if you do it on a wheelchair or something, then you'll have to pay a penalty for this. So that's 1, and then that's 2. The middle section they keep for the wheelchairs, and then the buggy section is on like the third floor or the 4th floor where they got actual buggies. So if somebody is elderly that is going, then they can use that facility. So it's around 3.5 kilometers. That's it. Our Umrah is done. Now what do? Shave our head. Okay, halaq or qasar. So halaq is to shave it, qasar is to trim it, and to make halaq is preferable. Qasar is not preferable. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave 3 du'as for the people who make the halaq and 1 du'a for the people who make qasar, meaning who trim their hair. If you are intending to trim your hair, nowadays unfortunately this has become a trend. People go for Umrah, they come back from Umrah, and then you say, look at him and he says, have you been to Umrah? Your hair still the same? He says, yeah, I just had a quick trim. So unfortunately they don't like to go bald. If you want to have a qasar, what you need to remember is that you need to cut at least 1 inch of hair. At least 1 inch of hair. If you're not cutting 1 inch of hair, for example, your hair is less than 1 inch, and you're just having a few little snips here and there, then that means your qasar isn't done. You'll have to cut at least 1 inch of hair for your qasar to be acceptable. 1 inch, not just a few strands of hair. 1 inch meaning from the whole head. 1 inch will need to be cut. That's our tawaf done. Women will not make halaq. They won't go bald. So what will women do? Women will make qasar. The method of women to make qasar is that they'll need to cut 1 inch as well. So 1 inch for them, what happens is women have long hair. So sometimes what happens is that some hairs are short and then you've got just a few strands of hair which are quite long at the bottom. So you need to remember that if you're just going to cut the few strands at the bottom, that's not sufficient. It'll need to be from the bulk of the hair. That 1 inch will need to come from the bulk of the hair. So the best method is that you split it up into 3 parts. Okay, 1 part, then wrap it around the finger and cut it. Then the second part, wrap it around the finger and cut it. And then the third part, wrap it around the finger and cut it. Just one thing we need to remember is that this will be done in the privacy of their own rooms. This is not to be done there openly in front of the people, because obviously women's hair is part of the satar as well. So they won't start opening it there and just start cutting it. You'll come out from Marwa, and now from Marwa then you need to make your way back to the hotel, which is, depending on where you are, might be a bit of a trek. So what you need to do is just remember your hotel in relation to the clock tower. That's the easiest thing you need to remember. That where's my hotel in relation to the clock tower? Is it on this side of the clock tower? Is it on this side of the clock tower? Is it behind the clock tower? So when you come out from Marwa, you'll do a long walk before you even see the clock tower. And then you'll see the clock tower there, and then from there you'll need to make a point of where to go. Another point which I'd like to mention is very, very important, is that fix a meeting point. Before you start your Umrah, fix a meeting point that we're going to 4 hour tawaf. If perchance we happen to split up, it may happen. If we split up, then it doesn't matter. You carry on your tawaf, I'll carry on my tawaf, and after tawaf we'll meet at this place. We'll meet at this place. Fix a point, look at something which is quite prominent around you, and then say, okay, this is where we will meet. There'll be loads of signs everywhere, Malik Fahad Gate, or Malik Abdul Aziz Gate, or Ilal Mas'a, or something like that. You'll find these different things. So fix a point that you say, look, after our tawaf, because that's the main place where you'll get split. In the sa'i you don't really get split because you're more flexible, you can turn around, you can look around and things like that. In tawaf you can't do all of this, and you don't want to jeopardize your umrah because of all of these things. So you'll carry on focusing, doing your tawaf, but fix a place that, okay, if we happen to split, then we'll meet up at this place. So then you know that, okay, it's no problem, I can't see him, it doesn't matter, let me carry on my tawaf, inshallah we'll meet over there after. Certain masail women that are on the monthly cycle obviously will not do their tawaf because you need to enter the masjid. If it so happens that you started your tawaf, you're doing your umrah, and then your monthly cycle starts suddenly and you weren't anticipating it, then in this situation you'll stop your tawaf and you leave the masjid immediately, and you won't even do your sa'i either. If you've done your tawaf and after your tawaf then the woman experiences the cycle, then that's not a problem because sa'i is outside the masjid. Sa'i is outside the masjid. It's not part of the actual masjid. So she can carry on her sa'i, and even in that state, that's not a problem because she's already performed her tawaf, so she can continue performing her sa'i, and then she can come out of the state of ihram. What if she doesn't get a chance to now perform her umrah and the days of Hajj starts? So in this situation, it's a bit of a difficult one, unfortunately. So she's come, she thought that, okay, I'll have chance to perform my umrah and then I'll start my Hajj, and then all of a sudden the monthly cycle started and it's prolonged to such that now the days of Hajj have started. She's still not out of her umrah ihram. Now what she do? She'll cancel her umrah ihram. How? She'll just make the intention that I'm cancelling my ihram, and then she'll just comb her hair. And once she's done that, then she's out of ihram. She's out of her ihram of umrah, and then she'll wear the ihram of Hajj. So just make an intention and make labbaik. There's nothing that she needs to take off or do anything else. She'll just make a new intention, renew her intention, renew the labbaik, and then because she hasn't done she came out of the umrah ihram without a umrah, so she'll need to make her qadha after Hajj, and she'll need to give a penalty as well, because she came out of her umrah ihram without actually performing a umrah. But in terms of her Hajj activities, she'll do whatever she'll need to do as normal. It won't affect her Hajj, besides one point which inshallah when we get to it we'll mention it inshallah. Okay, is that clear? Okay, now what do we do until Hajj? There's lots of things we can do, time doesn't permit, but keep ourselves busy basically. But don't overdo yourself. Don't overwork yourself, because your main days are your days of Hajj. If you start doing loads of tawaf and go to Ghar Thawr and go to Ghar Hira and this and that, and then by the time the days of Hajj start you're completely exhausted, then you're going to struggle. So take it easy, do a few tawafs on a daily basis, try to spend as much time in the haram as possible and stay away from the shopping, etc. You've gone there for a purpose, keep that purpose in mind. one point I will like to mention very quickly is that people like to do lots of umrahs. It's better to do more tawaf than to do additional umrahs. It's better to do more tawaf, because in tawaf you're spending that time in the haram. In umrah, you'll have to go out of the masjid, out of the actual precincts of the haram and the boundary of the haram, go to somewhere else, Masjid Aisha, which I'll show you next, and then you'll have to wear your ihram from that and then come back. So we'll skip all, you'll better to spend that time in the actual masjid and do as many tawafs as you can. This is, so what you have is, you have a miqat, which we mentioned yesterday, then you have a boundary around Makkah which is known as the haram. So one is the Masjid al-Haram, which we know, but one is the actual boundary around Makkah which is known as the haram. And these are the different the points of the boundary of the haram, and the distances from actual Makkah Mukarramah. So this is the closest one, Tan'im. Tan'im is just 4 miles away. So generally what people do is, if they want to perform another umrah now, they'll make their way towards Tan'im, and that's where Masjid Aisha is. So they'll go there, they'll wear the ihram from there, and then they'll come back to Makkah Mukarramah and perform another umrah in the same way that we've just already explained. This is Masjid Aisha, and as you'll see in the next one, that this is the boundary of the haram, and that's the Masjid Aisha directly behind it. So literally Masjid Aisha is just there at the boundary. So we'll just go out the boundary, perform our 2 rakats, make our intention, say the labbaik, we've worn our ihram and everything from the hotel, and then we'll come back, sit in a taxi, get back to the haram and do our umrah. Okay, Hajj. We've got 2 days to finish this off, not even 2 days now, we've got 10 minutes of today, and then we've got tomorrow. Inshallah, we'll do it, don't worry, we'll get through it. Inshallah. Hajj, we've got 5 days of Hajj. 5 days of Hajj. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. These are the names of the days of Hajj. Tarwiyah, Arafah, and then the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, people here will be making Eid. You'll be busy with your own things. You've got a lot to do on that day, as we'll discuss inshallah. And then you've got 2 days after that, which are the days of Tashriq, and then you've got a 13th possible as well, which we'll discuss inshallah. Okay, so, I can't see the arrows. Anyway, this is Makkah Mukarramah. Here is Aziziyah. This area is Mina. Muzdalifah is here and Arafah is here. From Makkah to Arafah is, the whole distance is 11 miles. 11 miles. So we'll start from Makkah, we'll go to Mina, or if we're staying in Aziziyah at the time of Hajj, then Aziziyah is literally next door to Mina. So we'll go to Mina. From Mina we'll go to Arafat. From Arafat we'll go to Muzdalifah. From Muzdalifah we'll come back to Mina, and then from Mina we'll come back to Makkah. That's the whole procedure of Hajj over the 5 days. And then we'll come back to Mina for the remaining 2-3 days. Right. We're going to go there now for another 5 days. So we need to take another bag with us separately, away from all our general big suitcase. So our small hand luggage, take with us. In that hand luggage, take our necessary things, additional pair of clothes, because we'll come out of the state of ihram, and then we'll need to thingy. If we stay in Aziziyah, things will become easier because you've got quick access to your hotel. So that makes things easier. But nevertheless, just try to take a few of these things. As I mentioned last time, a bottle is very important. This bottle will help you a lot with wudu, etc. If you can, take a sleeping bag. If not, then it's fine. You can just sleep on the floor. A few snacks, your Hajj guide, your musalla, tasbih, etc. Medicine. Okay, so Hajj starts on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. So we'll prepare from the 7th. Okay, tomorrow my Hajj will start. So ideally what will happen is, it is mustahab to go to Mina after the sunrise of the 8th. So we'll perform our Fajr on the 8th in Masjid al-Haram. And then we'll leave after sunrise to Mina. So before that, we need to be in the state of ihram for our Hajj. How do we do that? I've already explained. We'll wear our thing from the hotel, have our shower, etc. Come to the Masjid al-Haram, perform 2 rakats in front of the Kaaba, and thereafter make dua and say, oh Allah, I'm intending the Hajj now, make it easy for me, and then recite the labbaik 3 times. Now our Hajj is done. So when we will do this, so as I said, it is mustahab to go after sunrise on the 8th. Generally what happens is, I don't know what the situation now is, but before, generally what would happen is they take you earlier. They'll take you from the night before because they've got their own logistical reasons of transportation, coaches, all the people getting there. So they can't transport everybody at that time. So they'll take some people at night, they might take some in the morning. So if you are forced to go at night, don't worry about it, just go with the flow. Don't argue, don't fight, etc. Say, no, I have to go after Fajr or after sunrise. Doesn't matter, Bismillah, Allah will accept it, inshallah. Just go the night before. So because of that, on the 7th, so your group leader will tell you that, look, we're going to leave after Isha, or we're going to leave, but remember, they'll say after Isha, and then you'll sit after Isha, and they'll come about 4 or 5 hours later. Just be prepared for all of that as well, okay? So what you'll need to do is from before that, so if they're saying after Isha, then okay, look, after Maghrib or after Asr namaz, I'll get my ihram. If you're going to get after Asr, you won't be able to perform your 2 rakats, just be mindful of that. So before Asr or after Maghrib, I'll go into the haram, I'll perform my 2 rakats, and I'll make my intention there. So I'm ready for after Isha, so that we can go to Mina to start and commence our Hajj journey. This is Mina, tent city. All these are all little tents, tents. All of these are tents. This is a closer view of the tents, and this is what the inside of the tent looks like. This is your general tent, and this is your top quality tents. You've got nice little sofas to sit on, which then open up into your beds. So depending on what package you went for and what your group provides you for, you'll either be here or you'll be here. Nevertheless, this is Mina. In Mina, what do we do? Nothing specific on the first day. Nothing specific. We just need to perform our 5 salats. 5 salats, when did we leave? Ideally, after Fajr. So what's our first salat in Mina? Zohar. 5 salats will mean Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and then Fajr of the 9th of Zil Hijjah. Fajr of the 9th of Zil Hijjah. One point which I'd like to mention here is, are we muqim or are we musafir? Let us work that out. Okay? So the ulama have mentioned that, look, the boundaries of the Mina and Makkah and everything is so kind of like intertwined now, that what's happened is that it's all classified as one now. So generally before, what would happen is you're in Makkah for 3 days, or you're in Makkah for 10 days, and then you're out on the road for the next few days. 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. So then 10 days in Makkah, and then you're out. So you're not a musafir. Now what you'll do is you'll include those days as part of your Makkah stay. So if altogether you come to 14 days or more, you'll be a muqim and you'll have to perform full rakats. Up until now we'll be praying behind the imam, so it's no big deal. But now we're going to be praying in our own tents. So if I'm praying in my own tent, am I a muqim or am I a musafir? I need to work it out. The imam, he's going to be leading. Is he a muqim? Is he a musafir? He'll need to work it out. So there is a slight difference of opinion amongst the ulama, but the view of the Darul Ifta which I asked is that all of this is part of Makkah Mukarramah, so count it all as your part of your stay in Makkah Mukarramah. What do we do there? Remain engaged in ibadat, tilawat, zikr, rest, because tomorrow we have Arafah, which is your main day of Hajj, and make sure that you're ready for our main day of Hajj. Have light food and drink, because toilet facilities aren't the best there. There's so many people using it. So if you eat something heavy, then or have lots of drink, etc. Obviously, we need to keep ourselves hydrated as well, but don't overdo it, etc. Because then you'll have problems with relieving yourself, etc. Next day is the 9th now. After Fajr, again, we'll leave to Arafah. Okay, we'll leave to Arafah in the morning after Fajr Salat, before sunrise, ideally. Again, if they send you away early, then you might have an issue, but no problem if they don't. If you're going in on time, then it's fine. So after Fajr Salat, we'll go, and these are now the days of Tashriq. Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. We'll start today after Fajr Namaz, so we'll just need to recite these du'as after the Fajr Namaz. We'll need to be mindful of that. Okay? Al-Hajj Arafah. I think we'll have to leave till tomorrow, inshallah. So we've got the remaining days, inshallah. We'll try and wrap it up by tomorrow, inshallah. So, inshallah, we should be able to, because I think Isha is added by about 5 or 10 minutes tomorrow anyway. So we'll have that extra few minutes as well, inshallah. So inshallah, we'll try to finish it off by tomorrow. And if you've got any questions, then feel free. The main thing is you probably won't be able to get there. But if you do get there, then there is a little bit of itar, etc. on it. After we can start adhan. There is some itar on that.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.